I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. 5, 4, 3. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring. Outside the ring. It's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling. Come on!
And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Welcome back to the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Do not adjust your computer. That is not Keith. Keith is taking the week off. He is having fun with his family. Keith, we love you. We'll see you soon. Like I said, don't adjust your TV screens. Don't adjust your computer screens. It is Ivan from Circle of Debate. Ivan, I know you're a busy man. Thank you for coming on the show. And let's do it, baby. Let's predict some Survivor Series. But before we get to that, Ivan, what the hell's up, brother? How you doing?
What is going on, Mr. Universal himself, baby?
Buddy.
That's right. I appreciate you for having me here on this fantastic show. That's right. The Universal Wrestling Podcast, folks. And make sure you subscribe. If you're new to this, subscribe to them.
Yeah.
Sure. And check them all over social media platforms. And J-Man's already on the chat. What's going on?
Justin, my man. He's always here, brother.
That's
what up,
right.
Justin? Thank you for tuning in. He is one of the best fans and friends to have. Good dude. Ivan, we're here for one thing only, and you know what it is. Let's do it, baby.
Wargames!
Yes, sir. War games. Let's get to it, buddy. Let's predict some war games. Let's go, baby.
It's prediction time.
WWE's second longest running premium live event returns on Saturday when Survivor Series comes to AllState Arena in Illinois, Chicago to be more exact, Ivan, Rosemont, Illinois. The event continues the recent Survivor Series theme of featuring 2 war game events. Ivan, before we get started with the predictions, just give me your thoughts about the premium live event itself, and what are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward for all the matches because now that it's settled and it's set, we still don't know as of yet, even though we haven't had Friday Night SmackDown as of yet.
Yeah,
we don't even know if they're going to add anything for the pre-show at all, any additional towards it specifically. So we don't even know how is that going to fulfill this this card when we have 5 matches in the actual PLE main card, so we don't even know as of yet. But I'm excited, to be honest. I am really excited to see the return. We'll get to the main event, but who I'll speak about. But other than that, I'm actually excited. I'm pretty stoked, and I'm looking forward. We're gonna have a good PLE War Games coming up Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you're talking about pre-show, and obviously we're doing this on Wednesday. Something might happen Friday night, so we'll look into that. But as of right now, we're going to predict and preview these 5 matches. You did bring up Randall, or you hinted Mr. RKO. He will be there. He will be main eventing. I don't know if it's going to main event, but he'll be part of the men's war game matches. I mean, there's a lot of mystery too. I mean, should I say his name, Tim? I hope you're not watching. CM Punk, is he going to be there? Maybe Randy replaced CM Punk. Maybe something happened there. And then you can even talk about the United States champion, Logan Paul. Is he going to be there? Maybe that's part of the pre-show. But again, this is Wednesday night. Let's get to the first match, and it is Carlito going one-on-one with Santos. And I guess I'll start this one off. I'm really happy Carlito was added to this the mix here, because it just seemed like, similar to the Bloodline storyline, this was going downhill too. I don't know what they were doing with Ray. I know they were always like they weren't on the same page, Santos and Rey Mysterio. And I think adding Logan Paul into the mix and Carlito into the mix, now we have a story going with the LWO. So I love this. I love that Carlito or Santos is getting a little rub from the veterans. Rey Mysterio and Carlito. This is tough. I'm going to let you go first with the predictions and maybe just, give it to me. What do you got for this match?
Oh man, I think this is how you mentioned, like it's almost similarity to the Bloodlines, to the storyline. What's going on, Dylan? What is going on? But how you mentioned above it, it's similar towards it, but this is something that we can at least say we're finally get to see Carlito in an actual PLE event as a singles. We've seen him already in the tag when he made his return, and so now that we're seeing him in the singles, I think that this match is going to be, in my opinion, I feel there's going to be a little bit. Besides storytelling, it's really could be very. It's going to be. I think it's going to be really awesome to see.
Oh yeah.
We know what Escobar has the capabilities of doing, as well as Carlitos, but we haven't seen that in a while as an individual singles competitor. So this is something that I'm really interested in seeing of how this match is going to be turned out to be, and hopefully I think it's going to be really great. But I think at the end, who's going to win this one? Because there could be room in your windows. I'm just quoting that.
Here, baby.
Possibly we might see the Escobar creating his own faction. Maybe we get the Lotharios coming back, and being on his side. Maybe we may see that. We do not know.
Yeah.
And maybe this is something, that could cause for Carlito to lose his match.
Good
and
point.
Have Santos, go over. And then we'll see the new, of course, foundation of what Escobar's going to have. I don't know what it's going to be, whatever it could be. And we'll see from here where it goes moving forward after that. But I hope that this match delivers. If this is going to open up the show, I hope it delivers. And like I mentioned, Carlitos is the one that I'm happy to see him back. And he needs to be used more often. And hopefully he impresses everybody behind the scenes for this match. Escobar.
I mean, what do you do with a veteran like this? You put him up against Santos, maybe even Logan. I talked about that in our little short about Logan Paul and what is next for the United States Championship. That, my sir, is called a little plug, a little cheap heat right there. Go check us out on the UW Pod. But I'm with you, man. I don't want to say legitimate player, but I feel like if Santos somehow wins this match, I think that is a different level. I think he's one notch more up the ladder, up there, the totem pole. I think you see him as another big time player, not just because of who he's going one-on-one with and who he's dealing with, Logan, Rey Mysterio, and now Carlito. Those are some big time players, and I think that helps Santos, but also his in-ring helps him a lot. So I would like to see Santos win here. I'm going to say Santos is going to win just because I think it means that much. And maybe like you said, something happens, as in he forms a new group, maybe, or he takes what he takes from LWO, maybe Vega, since he's not a great talker. Maybe Vega is now his I don't want to say side piece. That's that's not the right term, but his manager, someone that can talk for him. Real quick before we get to the next match, let's hear what Keith has to say. Keith says Carlito wins by DQ because of LWO will interfere and turn on Carlito, and then they will form Phantasma. So I think that is really cool. That is another little wrinkle in the feather here. And Keith has been preaching it for months now. It's time to get that group back together, and I would love to see that. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe Garza and Humberto stays down in NXT, but I feel like they are at the roof of their potential. I think they can go somewhere else and maybe go into the main roster. But what do you think? Any last words before we get to the next match?
I love what Keith's prediction is. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we all would love that, but I feel that adding the Lotharios that'll be his new version of Legado del Fantasma 2.0. That could be the it, because it just, for me to LWO to die out just that unexpectedly, kind of like, it makes no sense to me. Is like, then why bring it back in the first place? What was the reason for it? Because not only that, I mean, keep in mind that if once Ray, which, like I said, we're just opinionators. I'm not gonna say that I'm Uncle Seltzer, all of that. But with him Mysterio saying, what about he involves Dragon Lee on this? We might see Dragon Lee get involved in this as well and begin the feud for it, leading the faction possibly. So who knows? There's a lot of things that this story could really grow like anywhere, and that's what got us intrigued to see where this is going to go. So I'm excited. So we'll see, and we'll see how this is going to turn out.
Buddy, let's do it. Let's get to the next match. Here we go.
Of Wargames.
Yes, sir. Rhea Ripley, your women's world heavyweight champion, will go one-on-one with Zoe Stark. I love it. I think this is a great position for Starks. I don't really know, again, what they're doing with Rhea. I don't think it's really Rhea's fault. I just don't think they have the competition for Rhea. And, of course, there's a War Games happening with the women's division, so it takes a lot more competitors away from this match. But I think, like the other matches that Rhea has, this is just a match for her to look stronger. You know, the whole thing with the last pay-per-view, I think it was a fatal 5-way. I think that was meant to show Rhea's strength. You put people like Nia, you put people like that who you think, you know, may have a chance. But I think at the end of the day, it is to prove to us, to show us. I don't think they have it, you know, you don't have to prove it to me. But I think this is another step in Rhea's journey to maintain the women's world heavyweight championship for a long time. I don't think it's going to be a Gunther reign. I don't think it's going to be a Roman Reigns reign, but I don't see the competition, and that's unfortunate. I'm not saying anything is wrong with this match, Ivan. I'm not saying Starks is not the right woman for this match. I think she is. I just think maybe they're building to something, and this is just a placeholder for Rhea to just prove once again why, you know, she is one of the best women in professional wrestling. So I got Rhea easily here. What do you got, brother? Let's hear it.
I mean, I got the same as well. I got Rhea, of course. I mean, I know that you mentioned that, you know, they really don't have anything for her. Possibly so, maybe not so. We were seeing the tease as of late. We've been seeing it, you know, backstage, always like on Raw, or sometimes when she's on SmackDown. We've seen that with her and Becky Lynch always running across from each other, like running into each other, excuse me.
Yeah.
And it could be that we might get it by the end of this year or by Royal Rumble. We don't not know as of yet. But what I do like is at least they're booking her at the moment to elevate these other stars that need that type of elevation, like Zoe Starks. Zoe Stark, I've been a huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
You know, even before she even came to NXT and the main roster, I followed her around her whole career. So this woman is very underrated, and I think this match is really gonna help her elevate it more. And hopefully we get to see her more often than we've been seeing as of late on television. But I think she's gonna deliver against Rhea. Of course, Rhea is gonna win. Like I said, a lot of things could happen in this case, which we don't know as of yet.
Yeah.
But another thing could happen too is that we could see the tease. Maybe so we see, of course, Miss Badass herself coming out. Maybe just to come and sit down and watch the actual match. Talk about
Who, Ronda?
Jade Cargill. We might see her.
Yeah.
We might see her sit down and watch this match and be like, okay, let me see what this girl's about.
Yeah.
You know, and so we might see that tease here in this matchup. But I think this match is going to deliver both in the ring, and it's going to tell a hell of a good story. Rhea's going to win, and this is where we'll see where they're going to go with her moving forward after that.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen her rematch against, if I'm correct, if I'm wrong, like specifically really her and Shayna Baszler, really, since the last time they met was NXT. We haven't seen them one-on-one. Fatal 5-way, we've seen it, but we haven't seen that. So I feel that what Rhea's doing is helping every woman in that roster to get elevation and to get elevated.
That's one way to look at it. Yep.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I can't wait to see. Well, I mean, but Rhea got this, man. I'm excited for this one.
The juicy man himself, Keith says Rhea retains, and he thinks that Rhea and Nia will go one-on-one at some point. He doesn't think he thinks there's unfinished business. I could see it. I feel like they brought Nia in for that reason, and we really haven't seen that other than Raw and the 5-way fatal match at in Saudi. So yeah, I think Rhea is just the one. I think this is the reason why you add her to the pay-per-view. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the time, if there's one woman's match, that's all you get for a pay-per-view. So we're seeing that there's two. Yes, I know the one is War Games. I get it. But to add another one and not Logan Paul, I mean, that's what Trips does. And I think also that's what you need to do with Rhea. We don't need to see Logan because he's just a superstar in all aspects. So it's okay if we don't see him on every PLE. But Rhea, it just makes sense to have her win. I don't know if it's hook by crook. I don't know if this is. I guess that's a good question before we get to the next match. Is this a dominant win? 1, 2, 3, shoulders on the mat, and it's over? Or is it like, okay, because Zoe seems a little lost after Trish Stratus, and that's odd to say, but it just seems like she doesn't know where she's going. So before we get to next match, Ivan, is this a dominant win for your mommy, Poppy?
Oh man, mommy, it's not gonna be a dominant win. I think it's gonna be a like at least I would say somewhat of a dominant, but not fully 100%. Because keep in mind that Zoe is with Shayna Baszler. We don't know what they have been doing in training or Baszler giving her advice. Even though Baszler lost to of course to Rhea for the NXT title this back a while back, but the difference is that she's motivated differently now. It's not more the entertainment side. Now we see more of the in-ring performance that I feel that we're gonna see, and I think Zoe Stark is gonna give Rhea a hard time. And buddy, regardless, you're dominating fully, not fully. I would say out of 100, I would say at least 60% she will dominate, but the 40% not all of it.
Yeah, buddy. Let's get to the show stealer, in my opinion. Here we go. Hell yeah! Your Continental Champion Gunther will go one-on-one with The Miz, and man, this has been the most interesting storyline in the WWE for the past 2 to 3 weeks. It's just shows you. I mean, Keith says it every single time we live stream. There's a reason why The Miz is with the WWE for this long. Yes, he's had issues in the past with, eating the chicken and it's in the locker bag and in the locker room and all that. But when the dust settles, buddy, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, maybe even a 2-time Hall of Famer. Maybe even 3 times. I mean, with the titles, the reigns he has, and the different tag teams and the different opponents and just everything. His career is just something special. And what's really funny, too, is Gunther is not stale at all. I would not say that. But adding The Miz into the mix, it's just wonderful, man. If I had that clip of Matt Hardy, I think you do, wonderful, I would play it, because it just shows you the tools, that The Miz can pull out. If he needs, some to get someone over, he's got that. He'll go into his bag. If he needs to win a match in a different, unusual way, he has that tool. He has a lot of tools in his tool bag, and this just shows you again. Gunther's not stale, but I think he needed The Miz and added into this feud, and I really hope this feud continues. I'm gonna let you go. Let's hear it, buddy. What do you got predictions wise, and just overall thoughts on this feud?
I feel like overall this one, we've seen this before from Miz. We've seen them, of course, them try to push Miz to be as a face, and it's unfortunate that the fans are so used to him being the heel. It's hard for us to accept him as a face. And this one, it made it. I like the fact that at least his storytelling you're making it personal. For him to insult him and say that you're not a professional wrestler, you're an entertainer. Yeah. You're nothing. You don't respect the business. You don't deserve to be in this at all. Like, that's one thing that God says, oh shit, okay, hell yeah, this is what we wanted to see. Now this is something that we want to see, that ruthless aggression out of The Miz. That's what we want to see, and to see what he can deliver in the ring. And we have seen that throughout how you mentioned his whole career, why he's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. We've seen that already. I'm not doubting him of what he can do in the ring. The only thing here is I think, in my opinion, and I know I might get shitted on this, he's going to actually give teaching lessons to Gunther himself, because most of his entire career has been in the indie scene. He's never been really on top of a television market like this type of style.
Good point.
And of course, he mentioned about entertainment. Well, buddy, look, pal, you got to be entertaining here a little bit on the ring as well, not just only showing your in-ring abilities. Miz going to teach him that direction, how to do that, because Miz could do that. I give Miz credit of the world where he deserves to have. But in this one, of course, Gunther's going to dominate. But I think Miz is going to really tell a story on this one that he could wrestle, that he's not just only an entertainer, just be talking on a mic and, talking shit, but he's going to go in there and show us for the first time maybe wrestling abilities that we've been wanting to see from Miz. And who's been the only individual that has done that to him? We can't name nobody really. Yeah, I mean, we really can't. So I know that could be the case, maybe, J-Man, but is it the right decision? I feel it's a tough one. It's a 50-50.
Yeah. And your point too. I mean, it is crazy that he's presented as a babyface, and I think the crazier part, if that's a word, is we're accepting it. We accept that he's a babyface. Yeah. And it's just like for years we're saying, where is that aggression that we want? The Miz and Dolph era of feuding. Where is that Miz? Yeah. But now he's sort of a baby face, and it's like we're accepting it. I don't know, but I'm loving it. I'll say it for the third time. Gunther's not stale, but I do believe he needed this and think he needed something like the Miz to up his game. I mean, yes, we've seen matches on matches on matches. Gable, we've seen that 3 different times, and that's wonderful. And maybe that's, who finally takes it. That's what Keith says. Keith says that Gunther does retain, and he's just, he's wanting the Gable storyline to come back, or for him to go one-on-one with Gable again and again and again. I think we can all see that. Gunther's going to win, but it's nice to – it's a different I don't even know how to explain it. It's different. It's something that you didn't think Gunther would feud with, someone like The Miz, entertainment, all that aspect. So I love it.
But see, the thing is that, I mean, none of us did expect this at all. None of us did. But are we invested? I'm invested because, as you call me a mark, I don't care. But I'm as a fan. For me, is more of what I mentioned earlier is how this, are we going to see Gunther going entertaining side in the ring? We're so used to seeing him we know what his capabilities are. But we're so used to seeing that. But we're not really used to seeing that on the entertainment side of Gunther at all. We're not. So this is going to be brand new for us to see. So, and this is how you mentioned, it's probably going to help him elevate more to get a better understanding of that entertainment aspect side in the ring besides the microphone. So it's a valid point. So we don't have to wait to see how this is going to deliver, which I feel it will deliver, but it's just for us, will it deliver us as fans to being more invested on the entertainment side of Gunther now that we're for the first time. So that's what the curiosity is.
Now, does this storyline continue? Because I feel like it might, just because after Survivor Series, that's the build. That's when we start building to the Rumble and, the most important events. Yeah. And I just don't know if someone interrupts, maybe I wouldn't say Gable, but someone, comes out and, they're teasing him and his cohort. What's his name?
Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, they're teasing that. Maybe something happens there. I don't think Ludwig costs Gunther the championship, but maybe there's some kind of collusion, some kind of hot mess that happens. Again, Gunther wins, but before we get to the next match, is it just, again, I don't want to say dominant like Rhea, but is it just a 1-2-3 and Gunther wins, or is there something else that you can see happening?
No, I feel like Miz is going to put up a fight, and I think he's gonna tell a great storytelling in the ring, and pretty much like I mentioned earlier, it's for him to fucking show, look, I can wrestle 2 guys. I'm not just only awesome or do 3 or 4 moves. Exactly. So and that's something that we're all kind of invested in, curious as well. This match is for me is for both sides curiosity. Well, what we're gonna see.
Good point.
What we're gonna see on both sides.
And that's the best thing about wrestling, when you don't know.
Exactly. And that's why Papa H is doing a fantastic job of telling these, booking these stories, because it makes kind of like, okay, we're seeing what you're doing here. So I like this because it's something new and something not a squash match, because this story, the way how it was told, and it's just, oh shit, you're insulting the guy who's been in this company for quite some time.
Yes.
You're letting him know that you're not a wrestler. Yeah. That's an insult, So of course
it is. And it feels so real too.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it.
Yep, that's wrestling at its finest, my friend.
Absolutely, brother.
Let's do it, buddy. Let's get to the War Games. Here we go, baby.
War Games!
Buddy, let's do it. Bailey, Asuka, Io, and Kyrie will go one-on-one with Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Chauncey. This is going to be a fun match, and I love that they're going to get another women's War Games match here. I do think it was a little thrown together. I mean, I get Damage Control side, and obviously Bianca, that makes sense. But then you got Charlotte, you got Chauncey, and you got Becky Lynch, and it's just I don't know. It's a little chaotic for me. I'm a storyline guy. Yes, I love wrestling. I love in ring. That's some of my favorite stuff. But the storytelling is what I am just glued to. And here, I think they do this often with women's matches. I think they just throw them together because we got a Money in the Bank. Throw them together. We got a War Games. Throw them together. Rumble. Throw them together. And it kind of defeats the purpose, but I think it's going to, I think they're going to put up. They always put up. I mean, that's just WWE at its finest. And we're looking at them now. We got some of the best women in wrestling going one-on-one in a really, really interesting match, War Games. What do you got here, brother? Let's hear it.
Man, not only that, but keep in mind too, it's been a while we haven't seen, the four horsewomen being in the same ring at the same time, and been quite a minute. So good to see in this, with the addition of Becky Lynch, that's being the last partner for them, and finally, for once, we're finally get to see Shotzi Blackheart now being used, which finally I'm happy for that. I kind of wish there was a fifth member on this both sides because.
They did tease it, right?
Yeah, and I would mind seeing Mia Yimidis, be on. That's what I wanted to see. If Dakota Kai was healthy with her knee injury, what would have happened? I think that could have been right there. Your 5-on-5, we could have saw that. So if that would have been already okay, I wouldn't mind seeing that because that's another woman that I want her to get her booking too. They all have talent. They all have that. It just, man, I don't know what's going on here on the women's side. I don't know who's booking the women's side. Bruce Pritchard, it better not be your ass, because if it is, I don't know.
Yeah, but it also seems like Damage Control is crowded, right? Like this
is where I'm gonna get at, though.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I think this is gonna be the time that before I even say this, J-Man, Damage Control should be winning the strength of the faction, but going with Team Bianca winning with Bailey eating the pin, taking the first step of the rest of the group wanting to dump Bailey. That's exactly where I was going to go to, J-Man. That's exactly what I was going to go to, because I still feel like what the thing is, I feel they're going to get the win, but I feel that I said this on Circle Debate a couple weeks back, probably like 2 weeks back. I said it with the return of Kairi Sane. We're gonna have the trios, all Japanese women. They could just literally just say, "Screw you! We're gonna go on our own," and just dump Bailey at that time. They can even jump her like right after. Yeah, we won! Hi! Start beating the hell out of her, and then see the Dakota. She can't do anything. She's like, they locked the cage. They're beating the hell out of Bailey. We don't need you at all, and that'll be shocking to see.
Yeah,
which I've been wanting that because we kind of need that. We need a different type of faction. Well, don't get me wrong. We have this great faction, but it's just odd, like for Asuka to be added. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
But then again, it makes sense. I'm like, oh, could we get the turn that we wanted to see?
Yeah,
the Japanese women's going on their own. Yeah, and just like, okay, we're gonna start dominating the women's division. I don't mind that. But then again, there's fear because then from there, the fear is the crowd are not gonna get invested. Because that's the problem. The problem is here is the damn fucking mic work. It's the truth. I hate to say that.
No, it is. Yeah.
It's just it's the mic work that it can help elevate those three women as the trios. They need Bailey there to help her speak for them.
Help them.
It's an unfortunate, but it's the truth.
It is.
But I mean, in this case, that I feel like that could happen. or maybe not happen that way. Maybe it could just be okay. There'll be just a new type of NWO, but women's type of style. Maybe they bring another one. Maybe they bring Shotzi involved. Maybe she turns heel. We don't know, but this is going to be interesting to see. And I'm happy that Io Sky is getting her title ring this quite some time. I'm happy for her. Finally, thank God, she deserves that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, but I think Damage Control and of course, the guys I feel like they're going to win. I think this is going to be a good matchup. They're going to win.
Yeah.
Who gets the pin is a question. I feel like it might be Bianca or Shotzi who might get the pin. I don't see Charlotte and Becky getting the pin on this one. And we might get Rhea get involved in this, possibly so. A lot of things can happen within this PLE.
Yeah.
Within during the backstage, there could be an aftermath. Let's say, before let's say Ronda starts and finishes, right? She's walking back. We see Becky getting ready for their upcoming match. They run across each other. They started talking shit. All right, we see how it is, and look what happens. Somehow, some way she gets involved, helps Damage Control wins, and there you go. The feud gets in there.
Yeah, I think it's tough for me because the original group, Damage Control, just was plagued with inconsistent booking. Yeah. And now it's like, well, what do you see? I mean, they're painting the same picture again. It's inconsistent. You add this one, you add that one, you think that's going to work. And then you brought up the great point with the mic works. Are they painting themselves a picture, or are they painting themselves into a corner here where they don't know where to go? I mean, how do you do that? I mean, you add Charlotte, Bianca, and Becky to the match, and that is for one reason and one reason only, to make Damage Control look strong, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to have Damage Control win. But then again, the picture that I was talking about, it's just, what do you do? I mean, I just don't know. I mean, they need a mouthpiece. I don't think they could do any better than the original group, Damage Control. So you add them together, Zayn and Asuka and Kyrie. Shit don't sell, man. I want to see it. I think it could be something special, but I'm lost. I mean, it's going to be a good match. I don't know, man. I guess maybe that's what wrestling's all about. I don't know. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. The consistency with the women's division, it's really turned me off, man. I don't know what it is. I'm just not as interested in this match.
Right. I mean, but like I said, I understand it. But just for me, I've been interested because I want to see, as much as we don't know, but that's what got us interested at the same time, because the scenarios that I mentioned earlier could be involved in this. There's so many scenarios, so many assumptions that we could say this as a conclusion, but we want to see the conclusion of where this goes. I'm with you that it hasn't really got us really like, oh, what are you doing with this women's division? All we're seeing is fucking interference every match that either Io has or now, let's say, Bayley has on her own. It's getting boring. So that's where it got us less invested. But here it got us invested because we don't know what's going to be the outcome of it as of yet. There's, like I mentioned, those scenarios, but we don't know. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. And hopefully you're right. Hopefully they change it around, because they need to, especially on SmackDown. If you're going to have us invested on this women's roster is legit on likewise like Raw. Do something with it. You see Rhea do it. Why can't you do it for Io? Booker gets every match, almost everybody in that roster. The hell with it. So, but I'm with you, brother.
Yeah. Let's get to the so-called main event, Wargames Men's.
In Wargames! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and your boy Randy Orton.
Randy!
To face J.D. McDonough, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio in War Games. And I love this, man. This is going to be really interesting. Again, I feel like they threw this together. I don't know if that's just because of War Games and that's what happens, but it just seems like I'm just a little confused. But I'm more interested in this match, and I think I'm more interested in this match because of Drew McIntyre. And Drew's not even on this card. I don't see him on this picture. God damn it, Nick. Drew McIntyre is in the mix, and this is the first time, in my opinion, that I can really legitimately believe in a heel. And Drew is selling me. He's selling me as that heel, and I think that's what WWE is missing. I think they're missing a legitimate heel. Yes, we can go with Roman Reigns, but we don't see him, and that's another time and another story. But to see someone like Drew each and every day who is a legitimate heel that I can believe in makes this match even more interesting because of that fact that we've talked about the entire episode. The I don't know, the what's going to happen. Why was Drew put into this match? I know we understand why Randy was, and Dominic and Priest and JD, Judgment Day. We get that. But with Cody, with Jay, with Sammy, adding Sammy's, it's a little I don't get it. But I'm more interested because of that. I think I'm more interested because there's a heel that I can actually believe in, that I can actually say, hey, this guy's a legitimate heel. Sammy, of course, we get him with Jay and the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, so that makes sense. And, of course, Cody Rhodes. God damn it, kid, finish the story. This is another chapter in the book, Ivan, for Cody Rhodes. This is going to be fun. Let's hear it, brother. What do you have?
Oh, man. A lot of added points that you're mentioning. The only, for me is mainly Drew McIntyre, because I want to see – I'm with you on him going heel. Now, question, does it fit well with Judgment Day? I can't say yes or no until I see how that story, if it continues. We don't know at that point. How you mentioned earlier, this is a I don't know card, because maybe this is the beginning of where these stories are going to start developing, heading into the Rumble.
Great point.
Or heading into to Mania. This is the which Survivor Series normally kind of does that. It's a kind of way based on the history of Survivor Series, going back and looking at the match cards. But in this case, with Drew McIntyre, I'm curious to see how they're going to book him as a heel. Because we see him going after Randy, and then him and Randy one-on-one, and maybe that could be the beginning of a story for him and Randy to get himself back in shape. All right, now I can start with Drew, with him. That could be one scenario I could assume of. The other one is what do you do with Judgment Day if they win? What do you do after that?
Good point.
That's really, do you break them up or do you kick one out? What do you do at this point?
Yeah,
it's really nothing. I mean, the one thing there is, though, that I can say there is something for them would be the beginning of them losing their titles, which is we're seeing it on both Raw and SmackDown. If we notice as of late, we're seeing a lot of these tag team divisions coming back up. Now, this is where you can start booking them now on that point. We saw of course, the DIY. We saw the New Day. We saw, Alpha Academy. So we're seeing all of this on both brands. Yeah. This could be the case where the discussion could be, what? I need you guys to now going to be defending your titles separately. Now you're Raw only here, SmackDown over there. Yeah. That could be the start, probably, brother. That could be for them to start getting involved in that tag team division. And for Dominic on the other side, this could be maybe his time to head to, directly towards NXT mainly and defending his North American title. And just have him, focus on that. Have JD McDonough be accompanied by you most of the time. We don't know. There's a lot of things that they could really do moving forward after which I feel like they're going to lose it for the Randy Orton to win. Randy Orton's going to come in and RKO Drew, and I think that's it, because then Judgment Day from there will probably jump through. You cost us the match. How dare you? And that could be the case. I don't see JD McDonald. I don't see him causing the match. I don't think so. I think if anything, he will probably kind of mess up in a way, but he won't take the pin. I feel like it might be Drew that might take a pin on this one, and this will be Randy the one doing the RKO wins the FIFA there. On the other hand, we don't know what's going to happen here. What do you do after? You mentioned earlier about the story, pal. What the hell is going on with the story?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. I mean, we're seeing it, though. If you notice, we saw what happened on SmackDown. Cody came and helped LA Knight attacking Solo. So we got when we may see the beginning of here Solo and versus Cody heading into Rumble, heading into Mania. That could be this direction. With Seth Rollins, I don't know. What do you do there? I don't know. Unless you have Jey Uso going after it, maybe be the number one. Maybe so, but what do you do there with him? Do you turn Seth Rollins to heel because there's really nothing else? I mean, who can you really give him on that story? Who can you? We don't. That's where I think is, of course, the question is here. What do you do after with these guys? Could we see Damian Priest possibly cashing in that same night? The hell with it, screw it. We lost. I'm going to get that belt. Attack Rollins and maybe get that belt.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly, that could shock the hell out of us if that happens.
Yeah.
So we don't know that. That's something that we don't know how you. Yeah. I don't know PLE determination of how this is going to end up. But I feel Randy's going to get the win. It's going to have a great crowd going crazy. Sorry, guys. Everybody expected CM Punk. It's not going to be CM Punk. He's probably will be there, but I don't think he's going to be there at all, being the actual guy, unless they bust the story that either Sammy or Jay got hurt. They're missing a member.
Oh, yeah.
All you hear, look in my eyes. If you hear that, but I don't expect that. I don't really think so. But we'll see.
Yeah. You made a lot of good points, and I think at the end of the day, not seeing Randy's hand raised is just something I don't think is going to happen. I think we're going to see his hand raised. I think he's going to be the winner. I think the only way that doesn't happen is if I don't see it, but if Randy turns on his team and maybe joins the Judgment Day or something like that. But I think the Judgment Day is on a slow decline. Like Justin said, I think that's what's happening, and it's nothing against them. It's just that's it. I mean, the Bloodline storyline has slowly declined. I think the long-term stories are just slowly declining, and that's part of wrestling, And it doesn't help that Priest is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. That hasn't helped anyone in the past 3 or 4 years. So that's really putting another ruffle, I guess, in their it doesn't make sense. I don't know what you do there with Damian, but a really good question, man. What's next? I mean, this is part of the build up to WrestleMania, and we just don't know what you're doing with Seth. Obviously, maybe not obviously, but we think we know how the story's going to end for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. But with Seth, I mean, the only thing I can think of is, ditch the gimmick and be more serious. But the fans love him. I don't know. It's tough. It really is tough. At the end of the day, what does this match do for any of these wrestlers? I don't know. It's going to be a good match. I'm going to enjoy it, but I think it needs to push the story. And the only thing I see here is Randy returning, and that's the big headline for Survivor Series. Maybe something happens, but I think Randy wins here, and I think he's going to stick with the baby faces or the faces. I don't see him turning on them and, becoming the heel Randy. Again, we don't even know if Randy's coming, right? I mean, that's another thing, too. He wasn't at Raw. I mean, you can say all the hints that Cody gave us, but at the end of the day, we just don't know. We don't know. It might be Mr. Phil Brooks, it might be. It might be. Yeah.
But the one thing too, think as well, that maybe let's just say if Gunther loses the IC belt. Let's say he loses it. Now, what about we see Gunther coming out after and maybe looking at Seth Rollins like, hey, I want that belt. I think I already did my time, what I did for my Intercontinental belt. I lost it. Big deal. I don't care. What I want is that belt. Or he could go ahead and challenge Damian for that briefcase. You know what? I want that briefcase. And then I want to go ahead and we can see that. We can maybe start seeing the build on that. But I feel like, honestly, I think the aftermatch we're going to see more is on Raw. I think that's where we're really going to see where this is going to, where it will lead us to heading into Rumble and Mania more. But that could be another scenario there too, because seeing Gunther maybe, or let's just say, I said this as well on Circle Debate, I don't mind seeing a title for title. Rollins and Gunther, title for title at Mania. Why not? Let's have a WrestleMania 7 type of style, Warrior and Hogan style. Have Gunther, the Intercontinental, putting his belt on the line. Rollins putting his, heavyweight championship on the line. Why the hell not? We could see that.
Yeah.
Why not book it? So
book it, baby.
Book it, baby. So might as well, because for the last couple 4 weeks, we've been seeing the same type of main event, same feud. Okay, let's hope this feud ends here and it's over with, and have all these 10 individuals focus on doing their own type of stories now, pal. Finish the story because we're done with it. We don't want to see the same Papa H. We don't want to see the same Vinny shit over and over. You're doing a fantastic job. Nobody's perfect. Not that nobody's perfect, but you're getting it though. So let's hope we see that, brother. We don't know. We'll find out. I think that Saturday we'll find out, and I think we'll find out more on Raw.
Yeah. Your boy Keith has Team Cody winning, and he said big picture here is the Judgment Day loses further. And I think we're all saying that. Justin said that. We're saying that. We see a slow decline in the Judgment Day. And again, it's not a bad thing. That's just what happens with long-term stories. It just, it happens. It ends and everything ends. And this program is going to end. But before we do that, give the people what they want. Mr. Ivan from the Circle of Debate. How can they find you?
Oh, man, but I appreciate you very much, Mr. Universal yourself, man. The man of the hour, every hour, on the hour, coast to coast, with the most.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right, baby. Yeah. Dick Dietering, I appreciate you, brother, for having me to go here on this fantastic universe right here at Universal Wrestling Podcast. Of course, you can find us, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, and for all the audio platform listeners as well, you can find us at Circle Debate on Instagram, on X, formerly known as Twitter. And of course, you can subscribe to us as well on our YouTube, putting at Circle Debate. You can find us there as well. And on Facebook. And now that we're officially Debate Network. So that's what we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a lot of shows for you there. We still have Raw Dogging with De Niro. We still have Meathead Podcast. We have Top Rope Wrestling Talk there. The Fight Club, of course, the Title Fight Plus class. And a lot more coming, folks. There's still a lot more. And also for everybody that are listening from here in the West Coast that are listening and watching this, if you have nothing to do on the holiday weekend for that Saturday, you are more welcome to come by at Pacific Brewery Plate in Monrovia, California. I will be there co-hosting along with Pacific Brewery. I still be hosting a watch along live party there, and there'll be surprises. Could be prize giveaways there, folks. So you never know.
There you go.
Come on by. Just go to our social media so you can get all more of the information. And like I said, man, I appreciate you, brother, for taking the time, and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays for everyone.
There we go. Happy Thanksgiving. You said it best, man. Go tune in to the Debate Network. Circle of Debate is the handle for most of their social medias. Go check them out. A lot of fun, a lot of good people. That's what you want. And they talk wrestling too, so that's even better. You can find us right here on the UW Pod and on Instagram at UW Podcast and X at the UW Pod. We do have a fancy website. Check it out, UWPod.com. Have a great Saturday. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time right here on the UW Podcast.
Yeah, baby.
And here it comes.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Universal Wrestling Podcast.
Like that blood up and say.
Check us out on the web at uwpod.com.
You've got mail.
Or send us an email. info@uwpod.com. Universal Wrestling